Good afternoon. I'm very thrilled to see the Make community coming together for the first time. I hope that you are energized and ready for our first afternoon session. Makers, believe me, you are sitting on some very precious hidden gems. Today, our product team is here to help you unveil some of them. Personally, I love efficiency. You tell me who doesn't. André, our first product manager to be on stage today, will help us build scenarios that are scalable and easy to maintain. André, the stage is yours.
Hello. Allow me to welcome you all. And what I like to show you today is one scenario to serve them all. Why have we chosen this movie title? Because we know that there are multiple challenges in Make you are struggling with. Can you raise your hand if you ever tried to clone a scenario, change a connection in a huge scenario just because someone new came to the company? Yes, I expected that. Thank you for that. Thank you. It's perfect. It's perfect for the show. I want to show you what we are building towards tackling these challenges, getting rid of it. So maybe we will actually have one scenario to serve them all. Let's take a look into Make. We have a fictitious company, Opicor, and in Opicor we run multiple functions. I, in Opicor, am a head of customer success, and as you can imagine, we have dozens of processes that ends up with sending an email towards the customer. And we all want the email communication to be personalized, to be well formatted, to look perfect. So we have this set of three very simple scenarios, and let's take a look into the core scenario that only sends a formatted email. It looks super simple, maybe simple stupid, but there's a lot of power in that very scenario. The first thing you can see is that this scenario is built in the on-demand state. So the only purpose of the scenario is to sit here, wait until some other scenario or until someone comes to the scenario, comes here, hits run once, and triggers that scenario. The other point, as I said, hit run once, is that this scenario expects some key inputs for the email to be sent. Subject, content, recipient, nothing surprising. What's surprising and what's new, that this scenario even expects a connection, any valid Google connection to send an email from specific Google account. So that's when I'm talking about the personalized content. And what's more to it, this scenario keeps an eye on that all the content is beautifully formatted, is consistent, and looks pretty well. So therefore, we are using a custom variable. That custom variable contains the HTML template. That template, if our marketing team at Opicor would decide to change it, they only have to change it in one place. And as you can see, there's a new beautiful variable that's connection. So that's where I can dynamically feed the connection in the scenario. Okay, so let's take a look on how this works in practice. I have this another super simple scenario that once anyone new joins my company, joins my HubSpot account, sends him a well formatted newsletter email. So I will choose where to start. Okay, hit run once. And as you can see, or see in a second, I have a well-formatted email that really looks like from Opicor, our fictitious company. Our customer is welcomed for the newsletter. Very simple. That's where I'm calling a scenario from a scenario using our Make app. Another super simple use case. If I want all the communication to look as beautiful as this one looks, I can ask some of my colleagues in the audience to hit another super simple scenario that once triggered sends email the same way, calls the scenario that sends a formatted email, and we can see the result in my mailbox here. This one I read. Thank you, Darren. And yes, it's actually a really live demo. So if you'd be in my organization, you'd be able to send whatever emails you'd like this way. So let's sum it up. It looked pretty simple, but this use case leveraged free functionalities, free features that we released in last year. Custom variables, we have seen, the HTML template was there, so everything is able to adjust and set up in one place. Another one, scenario, as I said, expected some specific set of inputs. We've seen that as well. And what's new is dynamic connections. We are currently doing some final polishes on dynamic connections. So dynamic connections are something that's going to come later this year. As a product manager, I'm forbid to use the word promise, but we are very much keen and really hope that it's going to be this year. That's all from me. Thank you all. And we're here all day. See us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andre. That truly unlocks some very, very interesting capabilities. You will join me in saying it wouldn't be a tech event in 2023 if we don't talk about AI topics. Our apps team has been working so hard to put this together. Michal, please join me and give us a glimpse into Make AI world.
Sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I too am glad to be here because I would like to show you how you can experiment with AI-enabled workflows. But first, let's take a look at the current challenge that many, if not all, companies are facing today. And the challenge is how to quickly and effectively unlock the power of AI into their, or like incorporate the power of AI into their workflows. How to experiment with these new AI technologies iteratively. How to stay relevant in this increasingly competitive environment that the AI tools are actually enabling, and if using AI already, how to stay on top what the AI is about to do. Just last week, we all could see the flood of new features coming from OpenAI, and this is basically another dose of stuff that is going to push the boundaries what's possible within OpenAI's technology even further. And now, in like using very simple scenario, I would like to show you how Make can help you accelerate the adoption of these new AI capabilities. So let's take our OpiCore company, for example. From time to time, OpiCore employees using company cars need to submit a car accident report. This can be a very tedious, time-consuming process, as you can probably all well imagine. But it is also a process that can be easily automated and simplified. So now let's take a look how simple it can actually be. It all starts with a form, as usual. And this is a very simple form using just 3 inputs from the user. First, they need to enter the employee name, provide as much information as possible about the car accident, and then, of course, upload a picture of the car accident. That's basically it. And now, it's up to the risk assessment team over at OpiCore to pick this up for further processing. They will get notification in Slack. This is a live demo. It takes just like 12 seconds to generate the notification for the risk assessment team. So let's give it 1 more second, 2 more seconds. Wow, this never happened before. Here we are. And now you see, that all this information is actually nicely displayed for the risk assessment team to pick up easily for further processing and understand what actually happened, right? I would like to make sure that you all notice 2 small things. The first one is this automatically determined severity, and the other is the ability of the team to be able to either confirm the risk or override the risk. So let's pretend that I'm the risk assessment team member. I just checked this case. It doesn't really look like it's medium, right? So I'm just going to override it because this is low, just like some minor scratches that bump. Like obviously you need to replace the bumpers on both cars, but that's probably low. Immediately receiving feedback that it has been overridden. This is where I will stop my use case. This is enough for now. So let's take a look at what really is happening behind the scenes. For that, I need to get back to my browser so that I can show you a scenario. This is the scenario that is basically behind this whole process. It's very simple, just 6 modules. It's triggered when the form is submitted by the employee. and then it actually processes the data from the form. First, it grabs the photo coming from the employee, and it sends it for OpenAI for processing. Now, for that, we are using just recently released new module we call Analyze Images, and it is very powerful. But for the simplicity of this use case, we are just going to ask it to simply, hey, estimate the damage that is on the picture, so that we can actually use this information for further processing. We will then combine the output with the rest of the car accident report, send it back to OpenAI for further processing, because obviously, as you could see, there was a lot of text provided by the employee. Nothing was really specifically defined by the employee. And basically, you see this is the input here. It's pretty big block of text. So what we do actually, we use it to extract the important pieces of information in a very neat way, so that we can actually then use it for the Slack notification for the risk assessment team. Now, to finish off this process, we are using a second scenario that is even simpler, and it's just processing the risk confirmation or the override. That's basically it. Like, these two scenarios are basically fulfilling a use case that can easily be called what some say is human in the loop, right? So now I would like to wrap this up by highlighting two key components of like how this was possible. First is the Slack app that we actually use, specifically the ability to work with Slack bots, which you could all see is something that the users can use to insert human decision makers into the middle of any process. We also use it to enable the users to review what the AI-enabled workflow is about to do. You can, of course, use any sort of like a communication messaging tool like Microsoft Teams as well, right? It really depends up to you. The second key component is the Analyze Images that we just released. So like last Monday, OpenAI released a bunch of new features. One of those was GPT-4V, which is the vision model available. On Thursday, we were able to unlock this feature for our users to include in their automation within Make. And during the development, we really gave it hard times. We really tried. We had fun with it. You need to try it out yourself. But basically, we were able to categorize customer complaints from a photo or a screenshot, actually. We were able to extract invoice details, license plates, basically any text from any kind of image or photo. We were able to use it to provide us with qualitative assessments of multiple pictures or photos, like which suits what purpose better, right? And this can actually work easily with image files and image URLs. That's basically it. This is just a tip of an iceberg. I'm sure you, the makers, can really come up with different use for this, but not only this module, but all the other modules. And I would like to make sure that I learn this from you directly, so feel free to bump into me and let's chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can certainly see some sparks in the room. We cannot wait to see how you can be creative using these new modules. Well, staying in the apps world, who amongst you have ever tried to build a custom app? Or who couldn't find the app they need while in our 60-ish 100 app catalog while building their scenario? Well, if it's the case for you, please be all ears. Jan, join you on stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you much. Sorry. Can you guys? Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Imani, for introducing me. It's really exciting to be here, guys. And you know, there hasn't been that many hands risen while, like, who of you built the apps yet, and we want to increase that number. So I'm really excited to tell you what we are doing, what we've done to help app developers to learn, build, and publish apps faster. And we're doing this because we know that quite a few of our customers are in need of having more apps on Make. And so the first challenge we identified is that, you know, building apps on Make is really, it's not that easy to get started. You know, on the left, you can see a screenshot of how it used to look. So when you would first start to develop an app, you would end up on this screen with like some random piece of code. There are no comments, there are no hints, there are no links to documentation. So it was pretty, you know, confusing. A lot of users would, maybe give up before they even started. They will get frustrated, and we saw that even when they're successful build on some app, it usually didn't follow our best practices. In fact, we saw that only 6% of all custom apps were actually being used. So, what are we doing with this? Let me show you. So today, when you go to the My App section of your Make, you end up on the screen, and you immediately see some text which tells you, hey, you're at a place where you can build your own apps, your own modules. You can get easily to our documentation. But what's the greatest thing is this new custom apps training. So it's available for everyone. You can take it for free. And it's 4.5 hours of great video content designed to get you started quickly developing apps. So I really much encourage you to do that if you're into building apps. Now that you know how to do that, let's create one. And so where we get is a screen which on the first side looks very similar. You still probably don't know what to do here, but we added some things which should help you. So you're on a base, you don't know what to do here, but you can see this hint here, that you can learn more about Apps Builder, learn more about base, learn more about other things you may need. Also, this piece of code is not so random anymore. It's a template, and it's contextual and based where you are in that process. So it's different whether you're setting up the base. It's different when you're creating a module, when you're creating a connection. And it's there to help you not build from scratch, but rather kind of edit what is there already. There are comments, so it's designed to help you understand what you're doing. And the editor itself, it's been completely revamped to be smarter. So let me show you what it can do. So here in error handling, when I add a new line and I write these double quotation marks, I'm offered type. Type is the only thing I can, in this given context right here, so I'm suggested that. And when I select that, I'm offered the values which I can select in this given context. So these are the types of errors. And I don't have to search the documentation. I don't have to remember them. I can just choose it. Now, you may also see this red underline here. So, something's wrong. And if I hover, I see that the code is expecting a comma. So that's a usual problem. I forgot to put comma here. So the editor is now helping you to write the next thing you need and also making sure that your code is valid. So templates, contextual help, custom apps training, and smart editor is what we released between June and August 23. And it's here to make it much easier to start developing apps, get the right help in any stage of development, and generally develop apps faster. The next challenge we are encountering, as I mentioned already at the beginning, we know that our customers need more apps. In fact, on our Make Idea Exchange, there is almost 4,500 app ideas. And as much as we would love to, to develop all these apps for you, we just can't. We can't keep the pace with all the time growing number of new SaaS businesses. So we're thinking how we can scale this. How can we actually bring all those apps to you? And we realized that we have great solution partners who are building apps. But when we asked them, hey, could you please publish your apps on our catalog? They were like, hey, why would we do that? We can't make any brand awareness. We can't monetize the apps. And the publishing process itself is pretty difficult. So what we did is launching Apps Marketplace. And Apps Marketplace is really there to help you make user get the app you need directly from the developer. So, Make is not developing that app. Make is not supporting it. It's the great work of our partners who are doing all this hard work for you. And we are really just there to connect the supply and demand. And because of this initiative, there are already 53 new apps on Make which weren't there before. And we hope that this number will keep growing rapidly. What's next? Well, the ones who actually build apps already, many of them are telling us they're lacking a confidence while developing apps, and while making updates, they're already running apps. Because there is no versioning of custom apps, you can't invite your colleagues to collaborate with you, and you can't easily move from stage of development to stage of production. So what we are doing with that is something we call Git for Apps. It's currently in beta, but you can try that in our VS Code extension. And it's pretty simple. It's bringing the ability to edit the app files locally, which unlocks actually the potential of using your own Git. Well, that sounds simple, but it's super powerful because there is no better place to version any piece of code than your own Git. Also, it's a great place to manage access to your code. And with the tooling we're providing, we're also gonna help you release with confidence because you can choose which exact piece of code you want to deploy as development or production version. With that, I'd like to thank you very much. And I'm here all day and also for the party, and I'm excited to talk to you about your app building opportunities. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Jan, and I hope that you are ready for the 30K active custom apps.
I am tomorrow.
Okay, now that we are done with our main quota, we've seen how we can build some custom apps, build very complex interdependent scenarios, but to be honest with you, it's still a little bit difficult to make sense and get some order in this big amount of scenarios that we have. Anastasia, please make our lives easier.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about powerful new solution which will enhance the way you're managing scenarios in Make. The challenge we heard repeatedly about was the complexity of managing scenarios. The more you use Make, the harder it is to manage and organize your scenarios. Another pain point is finding and reviewing critical information in your scenarios. This can be really time-consuming, especially when you have increased volumes of these scenarios. And you know, we have a workaround for that previously worked. It's naming conventions. And we used it, you used it, and let's be honest, the scenario lists like this look so complicated, it makes onions cry. So let me show you what we came up with. So as you know, in this example, I'm working in a company called Opicor, and we are crazy successful, and Make was a part of this success. But my colleague Emily, she just won the lottery, so she leaves us. And while I'm super happy for her, we need to identify her sales scenarios to prepare the handoff to the person replacing her. So let's head to our scenario list and look which scenarios are owned by her. I can see one here, Emily. One here. Couple of other ones here. So as you have already guessed, this would take me ages when we have like almost 200 of scenarios in our company. Fortunately, I have this new table view right here. With this table view, I can quickly filter for the scenarios owned by Emily. I'm interested right now in the highest severity tier, and the department is sales. And you know what? I also want to know what was the last review date for each of these scenarios, so let me simply add this information in the new column. And I just want to sort it from the oldest one. Boom. I have 8 scenarios I was looking for in under 10 seconds. So this is something I can work with. But let's put Emily aside for now. I just received a message from my colleague in Opicor that she encountered a mistake, an error in scenario I created really long time ago. So I just head over to this scenario. And you know, I do not even remember what was this about. But I was smart, and I put a documentation link in my custom scenario property documentation. So right now, I can just head over here and refresh all the information about this scenario. And you know what? After reading the documentation, I realized that the severity tier is probably medium here, so let me just quickly update that. Different thing I realized is that probably our company could benefit from adding short context to each of the scenario. Let's see how easy it is to do it. As an organization owner, I can add any scenario properties that is critical to my business. So let's add one on the fly right now. So I wanted the description here. And you can choose any field type from multi-select to number, but I will choose long text for my description. Let's hit save. And let's head back to the scenario list. I'd like to add some info for account health checker. So let me edit my custom scenario properties. Let's hit save. Still cannot see it here because it's hidden. So here, my short context is right there in the table. And this new solution is available via API, so you can get creative here and yeah, use it as you like and use it for your business. Custom scenario properties is a solution that I'm sure will save you time, effort, and make your team scenarios transparent. It was released on October 5th. So if you struggle with scenario organization, I encourage you to try it out. And if you have any feedback, please reach out to me because I'm really interested in your insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anastasia. We can certainly now isolate the right scenarios with a surgical precision. Thank you very much. So we've unlocked some very powerful capabilities. Built-in scenarios that are complex and interdependent made easy. Only your imagination is the limit when it comes to make an AI. Developing your custom app has never been easier, as well as selling and buying them on our marketplace. And managing and governing your scenarios are now at your fingertips. As you've seen earlier today in our product keynote, it's just the beginning, and many, many amazing things are yet to come. So please, you know that we are customer-centric. Do not hesitate to come and give us your feedback. Share it with our product managers or myself throughout the day. That was all for me. Thank you.